What distinguishes Ramadan most in Egypt is the iftar canon. There are many historical stories that assure that the ruler of Egypt, Muhammad Ali al-Kabir, had bought a huge number of modern military cannons to build a strong Egyptian army. In one of Ramadan's days, they fired one of those cannons as an experiment, and that happened to be at Azan al-Maghrib. The sound of the call to prayer came from the citadel that was located at its current place now in Old Cairo. Fasting people thought it was a new trend that they'd get used to, and they asked the ruler to keep the tradition during Ramadan at iftar and suhoor. The ruler accepted, and since then, hearing the cannons twice a day became an Egyptian tradition during Ramadan that takes place every year, and it has never stopped except during the 2 world wars. The cannon is located now at the top of the Mu'attam hill that is near the citadel. There are other cannons that are located at different Egyptian areas. The holy month of Ramadan is very special in Egypt. It is characterized by some spiritual aspects that contribute to shaping social relations within a frame of love, forgiveness, and cooperation.
جميع الأشكال وجميع الأصناف كلها
There are
موجودة.
different types of pickles, as you can see. People like local pickles the most during Ramadan. This is mixed pickles. They contain olives, onion, pepper, carrot, cucumber, plus the pickles juice that people love to drink. The high season for pickles is during Ramadan. These pickles are top. As I told you, they are local pickles plus lemon as well.
ترشي في رمضان.
This clearly appears in charity banquets and in exchanging of treats. People in rural areas choose a certain day to treat the poor, another day to treat sheikhs of mosques, and a third day to treat the husbands of friends. One of the social aspects that characterizes Ramadan the most is the family and the neighbors' gatherings in order to bake sweets. However, this tradition is gradually disappearing as people now prefer to buy sweets from shops. Ramadan also has a fun aspect that has always been present all over the years. People watch television and listen to broadcast programs, whilst kids will play with lanterns in the streets. There were also people who used to pass by houses to get money. However, this custom has vanished. There are some musical bands that still walk the streets towards the end of the month and go to public areas to sing. They celebrate the end of the month and people give them tips. The first who used lanterns in Ramadan were the Egyptians after the Fatimid Caliph's arrival in Cairo. This took place on the 5th of Ramadan in the year 358 of Hijrah. All Egyptians, including men, women and children, came out in processions to welcome the arrival of the Caliph. They were carrying colored lanterns, and that is how it became a symbol of Ramadan. Afterwards, the tradition transferred from Cairo to most of the Arab countries. The Ramadan lantern is one of the deep-rooted folk phenomena in Egypt. It was also one of the folk arts that had caught artists' attention to the point some of them conducted an academic study about the Ramadan lantern, how it developed, how it became part and parcel of Ramadan, and then how it was turned to be part of the decorations that are found in many modern Egyptian houses. The lantern is considered to be one of the most important and famous symbols of Ramadan. It is part and parcel of the Ramadan celebration ceremony. Here we discuss the development and the origins of the lantern. At the beginning of Islam, it was used as a means of lighting for Muslims on their way to mosques at night. The origin of the word lantern goes back to the ancient Greek language. The ancient word refers to one of the meanings of lightning, lantern, which is known as finesse in other languages. An author whose name was Fairuz Abbad and who wrote a global dictionary claimed that the meaning of the word lantern was telltale because it illuminated the way for its holders in darkness. There is also another story about one of the Fatimid caliphs who wanted to illuminate Cairo's streets during the whole month of Ramadan. So he ordered all sheikhs of mosques to hang up lighted lanterns that were lighted with candles inside. A third story says that during the Fatimid age, women were not allowed to leave their houses except during Ramadan, and little boys used to walk before them carrying lanterns to warn men that there were ladies who would pass. This is how women used to enjoy going out at any time. Since then, women have become free to go out anytime, and people grew attached to lanterns as kids used to hold them and keep walking and singing in the streets. It doesn't matter what the real origin of the lantern is, but it'll always be a symbol of Ramadan in Egypt. The tradition passed on from one generation to another, and kids would go on carrying lanterns and singing during the holy month. A few days before every Ramadan, each child will wait to buy their own lantern, and people would hang big colored ones in streets, in front of buildings, and even on trees. Those who first knew the Ramadan lantern were the Egyptians. That was when Al-Mu'izz ad-Din Allah al-Fatimi came to Cairo on the 5th of Ramadan in the year 358 of Hijrah. All Egyptians, including men, women, and children, went out in huge processions near Giza to welcome him at night. They were carrying colored and decorated lanterns to illuminate the streets, and that is how lanterns kept illuminating streets till the end of Ramadan.
هو الفضل ده كله يرجع للرئيس. ازاي؟ ان نشجع الصناعه المصريه وطالبنا ان احنا نشجع الصناعه المصريه. فاحنا السنه دي ما اتخذناش.
This credit goes to the president because he encouraged all Egyptian industries. That is why we don't count on important items like every year. We counted on the Egyptian industry, and this is a 100% Egyptian product. The canvas is a pure Egyptian product. All people have started to turn to Egyptian products because imported items are expensive. People are now eager to buy canvas this year. We've come up with different shapes using canvas, like the shapes of tables, trays, chairs, fava bean carts, and potato carts. We innovated different usage for canvas, including the decoration of cafes. This year, people are keen on buying canvas because important items are more expensive. Those who have more than a kid cannot afford to buy them because they would have to pay about £140. So Egyptian products are cheaper, and that has pushed them to buy these products. The lanterns industry flourished during Al-Hakim bin Amr Allah's era back in the 10th century AD. He was the ruler who forbade women from leaving their houses at night unless there was a boy carrying a lantern and walking before them. He also gave his orders to hang lanterns at the entrances of allies and at buildings' gates. He even imposed fines on people who violated those rules. Egypt was considered to be the most important Islamic country where the lanterns industry had flourished. The most important areas that were specialized in making lanterns were the Taht el-Rabi area, that is near Al-Azhar district, Al-Ghurriya, and Birkat el-Fil in Sayyida Zainab. Afterwards, the lanterns idea was transferred to most of the Arab countries and became one of Ramadan's main traditions, especially in Damascus, Aleppo, Jerusalem, and Gaza. Despite the fact that the lanterns industry is seasonal, it is alive all over the year. Lanterns crafters try to create different models and store them till they are displayed in the holy month of Ramadan. Egyptian lanterns were known for their different names. Some of them were named after famous figures like the Farouk lantern, for example. It was named after the late king of Egypt and was especially designed to celebrate his birthday. They bought more than 500 lanterns on that day to decorate the royal palace. Those lanterns were lit by candles and had a door that could be opened and closed. There was also the Abdul Aziz lantern, and its door was at the bottom of the structure. There was as well the Abu al-Walad lantern. It is a huge one with 4 small lanterns sticking to it, as if it was a father hugging his kids. There's also the star lantern and the tower lantern, in addition to many other names like the boat, the aeroplane, the train, and the sway lanterns.